folks. Thanks for joining me for 21 Days to Fred, Day 1. My name's Walt Keller. I'm an actor here in Los Angeles, but I have deep roots in Denver, Colorado, where I had a dinner theater for many years with my family, my wife, my son, and it was there that I ran around with long hair. You wouldn't believe it looking at me now, but I had this like long, I used to call it rock star kind of hair. It was fun to have for sure. Started growing it because I had a cousin who lived out here in LA named Christy Keese, who many years ago passed away from breast cancer. It was absolutely heartbreaking. I wanted to do something to help, and so growing out my hair and donating it was something I thought was something that I could do, like many of you might do, in fact, things like that. Well, I enjoyed having long hair, and when I came out here to Los Angeles and we decided, hey, how about getting involved in acting, I thought long hair would be perfect, right? There'd be lots of roles for a guy with long hair, and in fact, there were. As soon as I got in, I got full. The casting directors just loved casting me in downscale kinds of roles. And when I say downscale, what does that mean? Well, it's like beach bum is a good one, for instance. I was also cast frequently as a prisoner or an inmate. Now, listen, some of the roles were pretty good. For instance, I got to play a cowboy in season 2 of Westworld. You might see me in some of the scenes in the saloon. Well, there's some screenshots some folks sent me. Take a peek. All in all, however, I was mostly getting cast as homeless. I mean, homeless all the time. And it really didn't give me an opportunity to grow much as a performer. And my acting coaches got a hold of me and they said, Walt, we've got an idea for you. And my wife got a hold of me and whispered in my ear, sweetie, I'd really like you to cut your hair. And so I took the good advice of all these folks and I ran right over to my friend Nikki York, to her home salon, and here's a video of what happened next. This will only be another...
Those are a good 4 or 5 years on
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it. Karen, we're still not through.
It's thick. Oh my God, I could
Oh
feel
man.
it.
Oh, hold it up.
Oh.
Like a champ.
Like the champ. Oh,
Let's beat him with his hair now.
Look at this. This is
Wow.
some fake hair.
Oh, you look great already. Get out of here.
Hey.
You do. You look
like
you
you
look
pop.
great.
All right, done.
Look at it. Look at you. He looks good. You look good. Now we're going to do like the real clean part here.
Short hair. It turned out pretty positive all in all, and not just from my acting coaches and my wife, who were all thrilled about it, but also the casting directors. I started getting those upscale jobs. And what I'm talking about here is like lawyer, doctor, psychologist, husband, neighbor. And truthfully, it was agreeing with me, because these were roles I could really sink my teeth into and get behind. And another thing was happening. People out in the real world were also reacting in a positive way to me. A lot more respect for some reason. Short hair versus long hair. It's not fair, but that's really what happened. And of course, something else happened that had never happened before when I had short hair many years ago, and certainly never happened when I had long hair. But people started comparing me to other folks. Oh, old Hollywood characters, that was pretty cool, like Jimmy Stewart, I get that a lot. Gary Cooper, there's another one. I even played Gary Cooper in a show. But the one name that kept coming up that kind of surprised me was Fred Rogers. Mr. Rogers, from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Truthfully, I didn't know how to react to that. I mean, Mr. Rogers. I don't see it. But Everyone else seems to see it. Now, I grew up watching Mr. Rogers. I love Mr. Rogers. I've got nothing against Mr. Rogers. It's fantastic. The one message that I took from Mr. Rogers growing up was that you are special just the way you are. But what if the way you are is just like someone else? And what if that someone else is Mr. Rogers? Oh, that'll like blow your mind, right? It's been a year now, and it continues to happen. A lot of comparisons to Mr. Rogers. So I decided to launch 21 Days to Fred, an opportunity to take a journey into Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, into his world. 21 days to get to know who is Fred Rogers. I'm inviting you to join me, and if you can, subscribe to this channel. Check me out at Walt Keller on Instagram and Facebook, and welcome to the journey.